Hello everybody, welcome back, I'm MrRedClaw. Welcome back to some more World of Tanks, where today we are going to be watching Christmas's 22's replay in the Object 252U. Of course, the Tier 8 Russian, or Soviet, whatever you want to call it, premium heavy tank, which of course, back when it first came out, caused quite a bit of an outrage because it was quite OP and one of the first pretty much properly overpowered premium tanks that Wargaming released. Now, what was that, maybe 6 years ago now? And things haven't gotten better, just worse. But can't really change it, as, you know, we've got a Type 63 ahead of us, which is a regular, just standard tech tree tank, which is probably better than the Defender in this situation, with its very, very good just turret, pretty good gun, and yes. But moving along the way, Chris over here, which we're going to be calling them in this, is on the Berlin map in their Object 252U, and still showcasing that even after all these years, you can still do pretty well in a pretty overpowered tank still. I mean, you have to be quite bad not to do well in it. But definitely it's not as easy as it used to be, as, you know, tanks have just gotten more and more penetration, and, you know, pretty much a lot of tanks can just fire gold into your kind of lower plate, which before you'd just be able to have to, you know, sit out directly towards your opponents and it would be at its best. Now, if you do that and don't cover it, which you should always do, you're pretty much just going to get penetrated every single time by those gold rounds that everyone is going to be firing. Talking about gold rounds, or lack thereof, this Type 63 is doing a very good job with two very, very well aimed shells onto the cupola of Chris's Defender over here, and Chris themselves don't know how to shoot back or penetrate. I mean, the Object 252 is definitely not accurate, and with its okay penetration is not able to go through kind of like the side turret of the Type 63 over there, but managing to put a good shell into the M2Y. Now, no face cam for this video, but we'll be back for next video. Chris tells them 6 to fall back, and they do. They really should not be in this situation, as they are just going to get shot by everyone and penetrated and die very quickly. But actually, the M6 takes down the M2Y in a very, very nice aimed shell over there to probably hit the top of the turret, the cupola over there, and now trying to do the same against the 50 TP, which is just a slightly more advanced target. But luckily the KV4 from the side manages to take them out. Now, up to 2,000 damage, couple 1,400 damage blocked, 0 kills yet, and the teams are pretty much even, with Chris's team just down by 1,700. But, you know, it's still all to play for. They now have the advantage of kills, and, you know, at this point a game can swing either way really, really quickly, as a KV85 goes out. It's probably trying to aim for the lower plate, but with that 160 bounce they have to stock good, so they'd have troubles with penetrating the backside of the Object 252 in that situation, because I'm pretty sure that gun has about 120 penetration on its standard rounds, something around there, so not too much. This Tiger 1 does definitely have the penetration to cause some troubles, not when Chris is so close up, and I'm not really sure what's going on with the camera over here, why it's so zoomed out. Maybe Chris just plays that way, with a huge ammo rack on the Tiger 1, with its turret coming flying off to secure the second kill of the game. And let's make that 3 now, killing the IS as well. Now, as I said, the game can swing either way at this point, and pretty much what has happened is Chris's team managed to secure the north, whilst the enemy team has secured the south. And now, what either team has to do is either stay in place, bunker down, and hope that the enemy team go towards them and manage to take them out before they get to them, or push the other team whilst they're still kind of gathering up and trying to kind of, you know, assess the situation and kill them before that. But Chris is in a very good situation over here with close to 4,000 damage done, 2,000 damage blocked, 3 kills picked up, and still over half their health left, which at this kind of a point is very, very useful, as they can still take multiple shots from all of the tanks left. You know, even the CS-53, they can take 2 shells or 3 shells, the third killing them. But this is what you definitely need to look out for as well. How many shells can I still take? You know, doing something risky, going out into the open to try and secure a kill on a deadly tank or something like that. And, you know, Chris over here from the artillery, I mean, I doubt the artillery is going to do, like, you know, 150 damage max per shell, as the FSV gets lucky and gets hit in the gun, I'm pretty sure, by the defender in this situation, managing to run away on still the same hit points it had before they went after the Skoda T25. So yes, multiple shots from the artillery, multiple shots, about 8 to 10 from the Type 64, probably 4 to 7 from the 87 if they even penetrate. That is, of course, this tank is so well armoured even on the side. Let's see how much the artillery does. Nothing, because they splash too far away. But yes, this tank, you know, this upper plate when you're facing your enemy is really good. What you shouldn't do is kind of try and angle your tank, because then this angle on the frontal plate actually becomes lower, meaning it's easier to penetrate the front of the tank. What you should do with the lower plate is just hide it, because it's slightly angled, and tier 6, tier 7s are going to bounce, but tier 8s with premium rounds are going to penetrate, and you should just avoid hitting the tracks over here. The spaced armor is just absolutely massive. You should probably aim for kind of this kind of a position over here, but this also has quite a lot of armor, and is slightly angled as well, so it's probably quite hard. What you should do for kind of best kind of luck in penetrating this tank is probably the back over here, the kind of lower plate or the upper plate, both quite weak, and then the turret at a flat angle over here or over here from the back, if you can get around it, because this tank is fairly mobile for a heavy tank at tier 8 that came out about 6 years ago. As you can see, speeding along at 35 kilometers an hour, I'm pretty sure without a turbo, so imagine what this thing could do with a turbo. That CS, poor play over there, leading Chris right towards them in the cap circle when they were a one-shot. They should have really just stayed back and hoped for their tanks to kind of make Chris go into a bad spot, but they didn't. They just wanted to cap and led the defender right towards them. Now finally the 87 gets the most heavily armoured part of the defender towards them, and then they actually finally penetrate, I'm pretty sure, with this round into the lower plate. As I said, most tier 6, tier 7s are going to bounce, but some with good accuracy, good penetration, and if they get a lucky pen roll, are going to be off harm. And you definitely shouldn't be you know, just dismiss the 87, as it does have fairly decent DPM and it could take you out fairly quickly, especially if it has or is using those premium rounds. But in this case the 87 isn't, and Chris over there, the first kind of panicked rush shot over there on the 87, as they are left with the KV4 and M44 against 4, make that 3 opponents, as finally the FSV gets shut down. The 87 thinks it's a good chance to go and rush the defender, but one shot with a crit, or actually 2 crits, into the 87, probably the MrRedClaw loader, because it took them quite a while to reload, means that they don't have enough time to do anything else, and even the APCR rounds of the Type 64 aren't always good to secure every single shot being a pen. But the Type 64, as we can see over here, got a really good pen roll over there, because that is quite thick armor over there. Actually no, they actually managed to secure a shell just between the tracks and the actual kind of side of the defender. So that was actually a really lucky shell for for the Type 64, but now it's pretty much a KV4 and an M44 against an AMX-13 F3. And you know, this KV4 is on 400 hit points, so they should be fairly okay in killing a tier 6 artillery piece. They do have the stock gun and the stock turret, so they are making their way slowly over there, because I'm pretty sure they don't have the top gun, top engine as well, but they're making their way slowly towards where the AMX-13 F3 was last spotted. And the M44 on Chris' team has definitely put in a couple blind shells over there. Now, have they actually managed to splash the AMX? Doesn't really matter, because they're going to be a one-shot hit for the KV4 anyways. Aim, and the KV4 secures the final kill in this pretty much equal fight right towards the end. Now let's look at the post-game stats. Let's see how well Chris did in this game. Now, as we can see over here, an ace tank, a high caliber and a top gun. You know, you're not going to get too many medals when you're fighting tier 6s, but still a very, very decent game with 5,181 damage, 6 kills and 1,649 base experience, with it being a premium account and a premium tank as well, with along the fact that Chris didn't fire too many gold rounds and didn't use a premium consumable. They earn 155,000 credits profit. So pretty much good game, fairly medium-sized length game, but 5,000 damage is definitely always good to achieve, even in your lower tiered battles. Now, for now, that is good. So if you guys enjoyed, like, share, subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye bye.